All right.
Piss and vinegar.
Piss and vinegar.
That's not the name of the whiskey. Here, welcome to the Whiskey
Just tried
Vault.
to start here's fighting, stealing, and drinking. And we're done. And we're out.
Shortest episode ever.
You know, someday, that should have been our April Fool's episode.
Right.
It starts, and we just do the outtakes.
Welcome to Here's to Fighting, Stealing, and
If
Drinking.
you fight me, bonk, 20 seconds. All right, so this is another from the patron saints, Cat and Shane.
Patron saints of whiskey.
Oh. This is, I like this one because it is a Japanese whiskey.
Yeah.
There's a higher chance you're going to be able to get this one right now.
Okay. What's the...
Well, just because the big ones that won all the awards and Yamazaki and all this, they're getting bought out. But Mars is lesser known.
Mars?
And they are, Mars whiskey. Mars Shinshu Distillery.
Mars is phonetically very un-Japanese.
Yeah. You know, I grew up down from the Mars Candy Factory in Waco.
Yeah.
Where they make a bunch of candy bars and things like that.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of when I see this name.
Same people.
Yeah, same people. Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
This is 75% malt whiskey, 25% corn whiskey.
Researched and confirmed.
So it's a malt dominant grains with a grain added. And they're blending wine, sherry, and bourbon casks all together.
Interesting.
40%.
So on the nose, the country that's going to be closest to Japanese is often Scotland, and that comparison is still apt.
Yeah, it smells like a blended malt with a little bit of peat added for a smoke characteristic. It reminds me a little bit of Johnny Walker Black.
Okay. Yeah, very little though. Very little.
Yeah, it's more honey and butterscotch than that was.
And then it's just that. All right.
And there's the sherry cask.
So I want to jump right to that very little bit of peat presenting as like a little bit of earthiness there.
Yeah.
But that's not the dominant flavors.
No, the dominant flavors are the sherry casks.
Those are just the ones that are most interesting to me. So the sweeter elements, it's going to be one of the sweeter whiskeys here. That's the thing that's going to be the most front leading. Iwai, tradition, Mars whiskey, it's a 40%.
Yeah, that's just one. They've got a couple of whiskeys that are like their classic lines, and this is one of them.
So funny thing I've noticed about the peat element on whiskeys, especially within the last 2 weeks, very often, my first approach to a whiskey that has some peatiness in there, it's like, there's a faint amount of peat in here, a little bit. And then every time I go back, I find it a little more, and again, a little more, and again, a little more. So by the time I've, approached this whiskey half a dozen times, it's like, wow, this peat is this is very present, if not dominant. And the only reason I bring it up is because on the second time I approached this nose, what was at first a very faint peatiness, the second time it was at least doubled in me, finding that peat. So we'll see if it continues to climb, like a lot of whiskeys have been.
This is what it reminds me of. Don't look, just drink.
Well, it's the Johnny Walker Black.
No, it's not Johnny Walker. How can you know that?
It's a double black, actually.
How could you know that?
Because their cap says double black.
Damn it.
You're not wrong, man.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a little bit sweeter.
This is more fruity.
Yeah.
But it's got that same combination of sweetness and more peat than you would think.
Yes, yeah, that's a good comparison. I'm suspecting it's going to present on the taste similarly because this is also going to be a 40%.
It presents with this being more of that wine sweet and this being more of that vanilla sweet.
Oh, man.
So if you wanted Johnny Walker Black with a little more smoke than Johnny Walker Black, double black, then a little more smoke than Johnny Walker Double Black, and a little more sherry cask influence, then this is right there. It's just right there.
So, the good bottle pull, by the way. I was talking about, how inconsistently I'm finding peat. And Johnny Walker Double Black in particular, depending on other whiskeys I've had recently, even within the last 24 hours, if I've had an Islay within like the last day,
it's invisible.
There's nothing there. There's no peat in Johnny Walker Double Black. And I'm like, I could have sworn there was at least some peat in here.
But if we just came from bourbon in Ireland.
Well, and I haven't had an Islay in several days now.
What?
I know.
Say it isn't so.
I know. It's a hardship. But, man, I'm finding peatiness in here, and I'm finding peatiness in here. But if you're coming off the heels of an Isla, you may not find any of that peaty element in it. Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to move on pretty quickly here because this next one is also from Nathan Huey, who is gaining on the Weddle every day, little by little.
Do you have friends, Nathan? Because you can give whiskeys to your friends. Like, I've met you. I like you. You're a nice guy. We have fun. But you have to put it in the mail. It costs you extra money to send stuff.
Yeah.
I really like this tradition of ball busting with...
Yeah. Well, you can do it even more with Nathan because, you know, he's one of us. He just graduated the Psalm School.
Yeah, he did. Nathan, you patron full Weddle. Ding!
that was the most schizophrenic opening I've ever seen in my life.
Something. You patron.
No, it's Weddle. Bastard! Okay. I took out like 2 planes on that one.
Thank you for the whiskey. Yeah, I think that's going to be a really effective way to like get people to like, look, once you reach a certain point, just drink the whiskey.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just drink the whiskey.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. It's like amazingly generous. You're awesome. You magnificent bastard.
Which
patron
means
saint, full Weddle. So we're trying to get into this bottle.
Okay, I need to go get a corkscrew.
There was an edit. Daniel's getting a corkscrew because this bottle is actually corked like a wine bottle, but it has a wax seal, like a Maker's Mark type of deal, which makes it fairly impossible to get into.
Or to tell that it's not supposed to be a twist-off bottle.
Or a cork, yeah.
So that's confusing. Maybe put that... I mean, why? Why would you do that?
Uniqueness.
Why would you do that?
You gotta don't hate on the new hotness of... And then how do you reseal this?
What, you put the cork back in like wine.
Well, no, but we pierce the cork all the way through.
It won't matter. That cork will swell. Just like wine. The cork will swell. Wow, that is bizarre. Never, ever experienced a whiskey bottle with a wine cork.
Hey, was it ASFMR or whatever it is?
Oh, God. Come on, don't do that. Okay. So this is Michel, and I can't pronounce his name correctly. It's Belgian. Couvreur, maybe?
It means weird cork choices.
Yeah.
In English.
So what he's doing...
roughly translates to weird cork choices.
What he was doing is sourcing scotch...
Gonna put wax in there.
And then bringing it into France to age.
That is scotch.
Yeah, so he's sourcing scotch.
Yeah.
Then bringing it to France to age it. And then bottling these special edition luxury scotches.
So, French distilleries.
No, not a French distillery.
Independent bottler?
Yeah.
French independent bottling company.
No, he's Belgian actually, but sure.
Well, he's in. I'm saying the company's France.
Yeah, well, they're in Burgundy, so yeah.
Some dude in Europe getting scotch for things he puts in a bottle with corks in a weird way.
Now, they're calling this the peated overaged, and it's supposedly made up of at least 12-year-old whiskeys.
Oh, so, yeah. Definitely the peat.
And then they aged it in French caves in the Burgundy region.
You do not have to hunt for that peat.
No. It's there as much as it was there on the Japanese release.
I wonder what they sourced. I think a Kulila is going to be brighter than this.
I love this because unlike everybody else, he was sourcing new make originally. He would source new make Scottish whiskey, and then he would re-barrel them into his own barrels and then put them in a cellar. And then he would blend the results.
Okay, so first thing was that rich, earthy peat, and then that just melts into dark fruit.
This is nice.
Yeah.
This has all the mid-range depth of palate that the Japanese whiskey lacked.
Yeah.
This one was really sweet and a little bit thin and a lot of smoke finish.
Right.
This one is deep, rich, and round, but not true dark fruit. It just hints at dark fruit at the end.
Yeah, I'm saying for me, it's dark fruit. You're getting a dose. I'm getting.
Hang on though.
I'm gonna chunk.
Just smell this. This is dark fruit. That is not dark fruit.
No, I'm saying I'm saying with the peat. The peat's gonna dominate.
Yes.
The peat's gonna dominate, but the peat melts into
No, it doesn't melt into that dark fruit. That is like raisin.
I'm saying
that is like dark raisin bread.
But it's 100% dark fruit in that thing. I'm saying this is a balancing act between the front-leading peatiness, that smokiness, that earthiness that melts into these dark fruit elements. I'm not saying it's a freaking Glendronach.
No, I know that. I'm just saying I don't think even the dark fruity notes get to that level of dark fruit.
I'm not saying that either. You said
you're like, this is the deepest, darkest fruity end.
I'm saying melting into dark fruit. The peat is there. It's not. This is 100% dark fruit.
It's a hint of dark fruit at the end.
It's not a hint,
but it's
you again. I'm saying it's a chunk of dark fruit. You're saying it's a dose of dark fruit.
It's a skosh.
I'm saying chunk.
The real answer is it's a skosh.
I'm saying a chunk. You're saying a dosh.
A douche.
It's a cross between a dollop and a douche.
Yeah.
A douche.
It's a dollop of douchiness.
It's a douche.
It's a douche.
Douche of dark fruit right in there. But here's the most surprising thing. The Japanese, 40%. What do you think the proof is on this? With that richness of flavor.
I'm going to say it's still 40 or in the low 40s.
Wow, son of a bitch, he's right. All right. So, if you're not showing off, then...
Well, you asked.
It's a 43. It's a 43. Okay. The richness coming off of this weird cork bottle, Michel Couvreur, compared to the richness of flavors coming off of this. Yes, it's a little bit higher proof, but it's only 3% difference.
Yeah.
This is a different league.
It is.
A different league of richness.
This is playing in the majors.
Yeah, and then
this one's on a farm team somewhere.
On a farm team, and then whenever you have a level of peat that if you had an Isla whiskey sometime in the last 24 hours, the peatiness is going to be invisible.
Yeah.
Peatiness will never be invisible in this.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. All right.
All right. I like this one. I might stash this one.
It's worth the hassle of getting in there.
Yeah, and it's worth, just note to self, don't embarrass yourself and scrape away all the pretty wax for 5 minutes, only to discover there's a reason you can't twist off the top of a glass bottle.
All right. Yeah, I like the hell out of that, and Daniel's wrong, unlike me, because I'm right. I'm right.
All right, then. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
I'll fight you.
If you fight me, fight for a friend. If you steal me, steal others' heart.
Steal your whiskey.
And if you drink, may you drink with me.
No, I'm the one.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.